Hello, everybody. I'm just going to go ahead and announce it in my little Discord that I've got. So we're going to do some organization today. So we're going to talk about it. We got lots to talk about. Oh, by the way, hello, Lisa. I think the South Node might be in Virgo now. Let's see. We got shit to talk about. We got astrology to talk about. We have gay stuff to talk about. I'm just kidding. No, lunar node is not in Virgo yet, or South node is not in Virgo yet. It probably will be later tonight. So it's shifting. We got a shift coming. It's cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and put my phone to charge. But I decided to choose this song. This song is a song that I actually heard about because of my crush back in August, because he was obsessed with it back then. But as you can see, Taylor has been dethroned from this channel in its rebirthed form. It's not all about Taylor anymore because she did Tortured Lesbian wrong and she didn't do a full era. So I'm going to do her wrong now. Okay? She's canceled. No, I'm just kidding. But I am mad at her about not giving more videos to Tortured Lesbian. And she gave them all to Midnights, which is a very mid album. But that's a whole other topic. So, okay. Thank you, Lisa. So it shifts at 6 p.m. Hit will be 7. Or no, it'll be 5. And make the chat bigger. I used to always say that when I go live on here. Gotta make the chat bigger because I'm far away. But yeah, so basically, how are you guys doing? I'm sure Bot's gonna love South Node in Virgo. I think all of the Virgos are gonna love it. Jess is gonna love it. All my Virgo risings are gonna love it. My mom. It's funny, I was telling my mom, and she was like, oh my gosh, she's like, am I ever gonna be okay? And I'm like, I don't know. It's not my fault that my mom is in Aries with a Virgo rising. Like, she had to deal with Aries eclipses and then now first house eclipses in Virgo. It's pretty rough. First house eclipses are kind of insane. It's going to be probably a little tough, but whenever we have eclipses in our sign, it's tough. And if we have eclipses in our first house, it's also tough. Those are difficult. So again, my mom just had them in her sign. But now she's going to have them in her first house, which just but like Carlin has been going through eclipses in her first house the past couple years or the past year and a half. So that's tough. She's been basically through hell. So I think for Carlin, it will actually be better. So she might actually be happier. She hasn't been. She's been upset. But yeah, for the Virgos, I think it's tough just because, like, when we think about Virgo eclipses, yes, that too, Lisa, she had a double whammy. So it was like both, which she struggled to when they were in. She might still struggle with it in Pisces because I think that's 7th house for her. And so she might still have some cancellation territory in the coming year. But we kind of could all see that still happening. But basically, when it comes to Virgo eclipses, I think universally, they have to do with like certain rules that we have. They have to be broken, or certain rules or standards they're no longer applying, or they're no longer relevant. And so we do have to be mutable, which I was literally talking to Lisa and I was like, I don't see how Virgo is a mutable sign. Like, it's the least mutable of the mutable signs. Like, I don't even understand it really, how it can even be considered that, because it's so strict. It's such a strict sign. So it's kind of tough for me to see it as mutable. But basically, there's a lot of like brain cells or brain shifts that are going to occur during this time. So a lot of rules that we followed for a long time, they don't apply anymore, or they are not relevant. And that can be challenging for especially rigid people. So anybody who's rigid, you're still going to have a hard time in 2025. But I told you that 2025, you have to really lean into flexibility. Even though it's hard for a lot of us, there's still a huge mutable thing going on where there's a lot of mutable energy in the sky. So it's like you have to be flexible. There's a lot of Pisces. There's a lot of Gemini. Still, Gemini is still in Jupiter. Or sorry, Jupiter is still in Gemini. So it's like you have to hold on, that you have to hold on to that. I'm just going to put this on my bed for now because I'm literally going to go through my closet. So there's no point in me putting shit on the closet when I'm going to have to take it out anyways. But basically, the reason I'm calling this stream that is because I always I like to forget about my inner Virgo. Like, I'm sure a lot of you guys that are like very familiar with me or my like astrology, my astrology, you don't even like remember that I have Virgo in me because I never talk about it. It's very like irrelevant to me for the most part. And I always forget about it because it's my Jupiter. So it's nothing like super drastic. But I always remember every time stuff goes into Virgo, all of a sudden it comes up and it's like this huge part of my life. So I always remember it every single Virgo season. And that's basically what's been happening now. Like, this is a really ugly Capricorn season. A lot of people are really sad and like depressed and busted. And there's a lot of stuff going on. Like, that's just kind of depressing. Like, obviously in California, it's horrible what's happening, which is my hometown. My home where I came from. It's very sad. But basically, yeah, I mean, so it's depressing. And it does hit me on a third house level, which that is my third house. It's where you come from. And it's like your home neighborhood or where you came from. And it's on mine with it burning down. So it's all kind of depressing, but I'm a lot more prepared. I can really tell that Pluto is not in Capricorn anymore. It's so much easier for me to deal with this. Okay, very interestingly so. Yeah, it's hitting you too in that way. But it's very like, it's coming like to realize that we're not in that Pluto and Capricorn vibe anymore, because that was so hard. Like, for those of you guys who don't know, Pluto and Capricorn, it lasted for 15 years. It's a sign of an economic depression or a very, very bad economic time. It's lasted 15 years. That's a long time. And it's a sign of like, basically you can never have enough. So no matter what you do throughout that 15 years, you can't have everything. There's always something that falters. It's like you're either broke or you can't find a partner or you can't conceive a child or you can't have people like you, like you're hated. Like, for example, people would make money a lot through cancellation, right? It's like they're hated. They're getting money, but they're hated, right? So for me, I had a lot of different phases throughout Pluto and Capricorn where it was like I didn't have freedom or like the ability to express myself. Then I didn't have money. Then when I had money and freedom in 2020, my health collapsed. So then I didn't have my health. It's like you can't really sustain everything together. It just doesn't work. And you really had to choose what was worth the sacrifice. Like, what did I want to sacrifice during Pluto and Capricorn? And the whole point of it was to get us to grow spiritually through essentially a sense of starvation. It's kind of like growing through spiritual starvation or growing through a fast, right? It's meant to get us to grow through not having enough. And it makes people crazy. And so there's been a lot of craziness over the last 15 years. That's over. So this is our first Capricorn season with Pluto fully in Aquarius. And for me, it's still ugly. I think we all have a lot of Capricorn related scars right now, especially still from 2020. It's still like difficult. I think this time of year has been really hard since 2020. But it's like we have like all of these memories of it still. So this season, it brings up a lot of Pluto and Capricorn things still. Like for me, I've had a lot of body dysmorphic episodes this month, but it's so much lighter. And obviously a lot of like the political upsets that I've had over the years or being upset about the state of US politics, it still continues this Capricorn season, especially when my hometown is being hit so badly by poor leadership. It's really hard for me. It still weighs heavily on me. So it's a reminder of everything. But is it really that bad? I don't think it's as bad as the memories. And I think that that's what we have to understand about this time is it's not like the worst thing ever. It's more so we're remembering how bad things have been. And it's kind of like our last time for a lot of us grappling with these Capricorn themes. And so you have to just continue to let it go. And, for me, for example, I'm held back from working because it snowed. It snowed yesterday. Today, though, the roads are pretty clear. I could probably work if I wanted to. I might. I probably won't, though, because I already planned on being snowed in. But it's like, I have that option. I have enough money to stay home a couple days and rest. And that's a huge difference from Pluto and Capricorn for me personally. I almost never had enough money throughout that whole transit. And so for me to be like, oh, I can chill. I can just rest. I've been sleeping a lot. I'm trying to restore as I was so super burned out from December. It was a lot of work. And also November and October, a lot of working. I had to hit the ground running really hard because of my car stuff and all that shit. It was hard. But just remember, like a lot of these themes, they're weaker. So if you're like scared about stuff Capricorn wise, it's probably weaker. And you have to look at how it is weaker. It's just not as bad as you think it is. We also have the Jupiter Saturn squares breaking up. So things are not as negative. They're becoming less negative. And throughout the rest of the year, really, it will be a slow but steady climb. But it's still going to be hard until probably at least July. And from October, it'll be good. So we still have to hold our expectations kind of low for 2025. Don't think it's going to be this dazzling year right off the bat. Like it really isn't. But it is still improvement most of the year. And I think especially from Aquarius season, we are going to be really infused with tons of Aquarius energy, which has to do with breaking out of old thought patterns, breaking out of old mindsets, doing something new, something unprecedented, something different, seeing a different path open up, right? Carving a new way. That's all very Aquarius. And that is going to be happening this Aquarius season because it's the first Aquarius season where it's solidly, like Pluto is solidly in Aquarius. It's at least a degree in the sign. So it's fully in Aquarius. This Capricorn energy will not let us go. I know Lisa was talking to me about it. And it's like, even with the full transition of Pluto going into 1 degree of Aquarius, Capricorn will not let us go because we go right into Capricorn season. So it's like, it does not want to let go. So take the lessons from it and learn. I'm using this time to rest because it is a shitty time. So it's better for me to rest now because probably in Aquarius season, I'm going to have to hit the ground running because it's a totally different vibe. And we're going to have to really continue to adjust all year and not be so rigid. And I think that that's really what the South Node in Virgo represents. It represents not being as rigid. It also represents stepping away from work. So as the economy improves throughout this year and a half transit, I think a lot of people will give up a job. I think there's a lot of people working 2 jobs right now. There's a lot of people working 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet. There's people that are constantly working. A lot of people are constantly working. And with this South Node in Libra, there will be a step away from overworking and going more towards purpose and life purpose and goals with Pisces as the North Node. There's also going to be a lot of religious stuff that comes up with these eclipses. There's going to be a lot of health stuff that comes up with these eclipses. So lots of religious debate with Pisces going on. A lot of people going towards religion, actually. I think a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of people that are upset by this time, but most people, I think, will be happier. I think it's probably better for us in general. Like, people will be happier to work less and, that kind of stuff. But it might make the economy look very wonky in 2025, where unemployment may go up, but it's because people aren't working 2 or 3 jobs anymore. So it's like a very strange, volatile time economically, with certain industries doing really badly this year and certain industries recovering this year. And there probably will be some deflationary forces this year, as well as other issues with that. So it's still kind of recessionary, especially until June. We're still kind of in that Jupiter and Gemini recession, which isn't nice, especially with Saturn and Pisces. It's super recession because those are both 2 recessionary indicators, and we have them at the same time. So we're definitely in a recession, even if the stock market doesn't show it. It's because of inflation, and they changed the numbers. In America, they've changed the definition of a recession as well. So it's really stupid. But you all can feel it. We can all feel it. I don't want people to try to gaslight and be like, no, the economy is booming. It's like, no, it isn't. It is not booming. Like, do not say that. I'm not going to tolerate that here. For the average citizen, the economy is not booming. It's very clear that we're in a recession. But in terms of like, will that end right away? No, it's not. What kind of health stuff? So I think what we could see health-wise is, I think a lot of our concepts of health and a lot of very like strict dogma around health. So something, for example, would be like saturated fat is bad for you, or I'm fat because of a certain kind of macronutrient. Those kind of like strict dogmatic views of health will start to fade. I think this is a huge year for getting out of an E followed by the letter D. This is a huge year for letting go of eating disorder mindsets, because I think Virgo, South Node, Virgo is it can be very ED, in the way that it thinks about these things. And so if you have that issue, I really implore you to let go of that during this time, because with these eclipses, if you don't, you could probably face really harsh results from still being in that mindset. So I think it will actually be a very good transit for my channel, because I think the kind of stuff I'm talking about, it has that Virgo vibe where it's very like focused on health. Other stuff that may occur, there might be something with Ozempic that occurs. We have an eclipse happening in March. In Virgo, it's one of the strongest eclipses of the year. So something will definitely happen with the issue of health. They may try to astroturf another pandemic. That may happen too. I know they're trying, but that's very Capricorn coded. So I don't know if that's going to be what it is, because they're doing that now in Capricorn season. They're trying to fearmonger over a virus in China again. You can see all these Capricorn themes They're really strong at this moment. So we have to just realize that doesn't have longevity. It won't last past really the 20th of January. It's going to be different because Aqua season comes in. I think especially in the United States, we have new leadership coming in. So the conversations will be totally different. It'll be a completely different conversation pretty much that day. Also, TikTok may be banned in the United States on the 19th. So that's going to shift things a lot too in the US. And again, it's very transformative for the United States right now. It's hugely transformative. So if you're living in the United States, we are going to be in a totally different context come the 20th, very quickly. So I don't think a lot of these conversations, a lot of these things will last because there'll be different issues, different conversations, different problems, different complaints, right? There's still plenty of complaining to be done in Aquarius energy. And there might be cancellations and things like that. Aquarius is very call out culture. So, and gossipy. So just be aware, it's not like we're going into this super non-judgmental time. That is not happening. But I do think judgment is also a part of the Virgo Pisces axis. So I think people being so judgmental about things that don't matter, that will shift throughout this time. So I think that is going to change a lot, which we do see that with Meta, for example. They're changing, freaking Zuckerberg is changing his views on things, right? So you see this stuff, it is occurring. But I'm hoping with the March eclipse, I hope we ban the food dyes in America. Because I got really freaked out by the food dyes recently. And I'm like, ew. I don't know. I was on TikTok, funnily enough. And RFK Jr. came up on my feed. They won't ban that bot. But the colors, we may be able to ban that. Because a lot of other countries have already done that. So we're really behind on that. But anyways, RFK Jr. came up on my TikTok. And it was about yellow 5. And I heard him talking, he was talking like this the whole time. And I think I was very serotonin-y that day, which I am going through that. I really do need to do a health update, but I feel like it will interrupt my January flow. So I might wait. But I've been very serotonin-y. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Basically, he was talking about yellow 5 through that voice. And I don't know if I think I was kind of gagging that day. I was very because I get like this when I'm serotonin-y, I get really obsessive and weird. And luckily it's less of a Scorpio obsessive and weird. And now it's more of a Virgo obsessive and weird, where it's is my ultrasonic cleaner, is that damaging my retainer? I don't know. Is it damaging my retainer? Is it damaging my retainer? It's these very Virgo concerns that are kind of a little bit Virgo cringe, to be honest. But it's a lot less scary or a lot less serious than when I was in massive Scorpio mode through most of Pluto and Capricorn. It's kind of like a gay version of it. So anyways, I was in that kind of mental state hormonally, and RFK Jr. came up and he talked about yellow 5, and it freaked me the fuck out. It freaked me out. And I had just had these candy canes that were peat flavored candy canes. And they were basically all yellow 5. And it was just he was just talking about all these issues and how damaging they are. And they're literally banned in other countries. And it's just oh my God. And I just got really scared. So I stopped. I was I'm not going to eat them anymore because it freaked me out. So I hope that they're banned. That might actually occur. Because we don't need that. They don't even add anything to the flavor or anything. So there's really no reason. I don't even think it's controversial to get rid of that. I really don't. I think if somebody's going to show really hard for freaking yellow 5, I think that's just so stupid. And that would be definitely a Virgo thing that needs to. Yes, exactly, Lisa. That would be a very stupid South Node and Virgo hill to die on, which that's where I think a lot of this South Node and Virgo is. It's no, I want these toxic food dyes in my food. How dare you try to take it away? which I have seen a lot of that on Twitter, which is really fucking stupid. So I think it's like, we're not going to listen to that anymore. We're not listening to these things. And again, ED is a huge part of this. So if you are struggling with this, I would use these Virgo eclipses to get rid of it, to let it go, because it's very powerful. Okay, let's see. Seed oil-free items will come, in my opinion, because my mom's normie friends called my mom asking for seed oil-free items. Interesting. Yeah, I think that may occur. That might actually happen with these Virgo eclipses as well. We have to remember too that South Node is technically less important than North Node. So what we're going to see mostly in the Pisces side of this is a lot of religious conversations, a lot of issues of faith, a lot of people kind of shifting their view on religion, a lot of people certainly the borders, so conversations about open borders, they're probably going to close during this time. And also economic factors. Economic factors will be a major thing, as I saw the recession began really with the last Pisces eclipse. So there's going to be a lot of these things are going to be more prominent, but I do pay attention to that Virgo side because I have Virgo in me. So it's going to greatly affect me as well, But when we look at the Pisces stuff, it's really about open borders, lack of limits, right? So this mindset of like, I don't need to have any standards, that's going to go out the window. So I really think what we have to think about with this nodal shift is it's a lot of unrealistic standards being applied and also unrealistic lack of standards. So I think, for example, the idea that we can just drink and get blasted every single day and that doesn't make us an alcoholic, that's not going to be fashionable anymore. So you're going to see that shift with some of these Pisces eclipses as well, because it's an overall mindset shift where we start to have more appropriate standards because they've become insane. Really, since the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction in 2022, our standards have gone out the window. They're very bizarre. And all the inflation and all these things were made crazy during that time. So I think you're also going to see a lot of conversations about, well, we've already had a lot of conversations about gender roles with the Aries Libra axis. I think that will still probably continue a little bit until at least past this spring. And I think it's really just mostly about health now. It's going to be mostly about health and religious limits and these types of things and what's appropriate and what isn't and all these things. Once the market turns, like with trans fats, they'll have a better chance of getting banned. That's true. That's a good point. Like with gluten-free, they now label all kinds of things gluten-free and have special items in the stores. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So yes, Lisa. Yes, me and Lisa, we have some very significant fifth house eclipses occurring this year, which has to do with love and romance and children. And for me, also YouTube, because YouTube also is ruled by fifth house. I have so much activity in my fifth house, and I have high hopes for me and my crush. I'm still in communication. I'm still trying very hard. But I do have some hope. Just a touch, even in a dark time. I got hope. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna keep trying. But yeah, I mean, I think we have there's just so much questioning of limits that's going to occur. And also a lot less cancel culture, right? So when Pisces comes in, we have less societal strictness, or we have less societal enforcement. It becomes more about this Pluto and Aquarius thing of what is our intrinsic motivation. So what do we personally want to do? That is what's important. And that's what we're being reminded of, because this public shaming aspect is very Pluto and Capricorn, and that will definitely be coming to an end with these eclipses. It's a huge shift. Now, in terms of American leadership, I do have to talk about it. Donald Trump is in danger. There's very likely to be another attempt on his life during this winter, especially from now until April. So I'm very nervous about that Pisces eclipse, because it's going to be close to, I think it's going to be close to Saturn. I don't know if we have a Pisces eclipse actually this time, so we might be okay, but I think it's still really close. It's in Aries, but it's really close to Saturn. It's uncomfortably close. So there might be something happening there too, again. With that Mars in Cancer, it's kind of dangerous. So we have to be aware of that. There's still going to be a lot of disturbing events this year in America, and probably violence and these types of things. So this Mars transit is really difficult right now. People are really enraged with this Mars in Cancer. They're very, very angry. So you have to be careful with that. And yeah, it's not a good time still. So I have to be real about that. I know people don't want to hear that, but it's true. It's just the truth. So hopefully nothing happens. We do have Pluto in Aquarius. I think that kind of makes it more likely that things are changing, right? Things are going to move forward in a new direction, but it's still going to be kind of scary. So hopefully nothing happens. But the second attempt on his life happened when Mars was in Cancer this past autumn. And so it will probably happen again. It's very likely that it will happen again. I don't think it'll be as close as it was in July, but you never know. Because my grandma was saying that they tried to kill JFK like multiple times before he finally died. So anyways, that's a little hairy with this Pisces nodal shift, especially with Saturn there. That was the last time we had that, was during the 60s, which we all know what happened during that time. So it's a little dangerous. Also the draft and stuff. So I really hope things are okay, which there were a lot of conversations about drafting during this time. And it's similar to that time in America specifically. That's a very American thing. So I don't know that we'll have a draft or anything. I think we might get through it, but we had all those conversations a lot over the North Node in Aries transit. But yeah, so I think other changes that will probably occur, I think we'll probably go a little bit more towards a meritocracy, right? So some of these more toxic, because you have to remember when we have South Node in a sign, Virgo is going to, it's all these toxic Virgo things, right? So it's like DEI, in my opinion, is a very toxic Virgo thing. It's like a weird standard that doesn't make any sense that people stick to because it's the procedure, it's the job. Whereas we should have more of a meritocratic system, because then the best person for the job gets the job, period, regardless of who it is. And we don't have that. So I think that will change too. Also, a lot of workplace stuff. So things, the 9 to 5 job will probably shift, right? There's a huge shift towards working from home still. A lot of these changes will probably become more permanent. Telecommuting, right? These types of things, they'll become more ingrained and will shift. But really throughout the 1.5 year transit, we're going to work less. Probably at the end of it, people will be working less and going more towards their life purpose, which I think is really positive. I think that's actually a good thing, because I know I'm very overworked. I think a lot of us are overworked at this time. So that trend is going to be over, basically. And I think with each Virgo eclipse, we become less workaholic. So there's the big one first is in March. I believe it's March 14th. So things should start to lift a bit after that. But yeah, so you'll have a lot of workplace conversations. There'll be a lot of debates about work. What is the role of work in our life? How much should we work, right? There's going to be a lot of workers' rights conversations, probably protests and, strikes. And a lot of this stuff will occur throughout this time as well. And people overall will be trending towards working less. Whereas when we had the nodes were switched, back in 2016, it was the opposite. The North Node was in Virgo. People were going more towards working, as we were about to have, again, Trump come into office last time, and he created a bunch of jobs. So a lot of people that were underemployed or unemployed started working. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Doris. I'm not sure what that is. But yeah, that was the last time. It's like people were going towards working more with the North Node in Virgo. Now the South Node is in Virgo, so we're going to go towards working less. Most people are overworked. It's been very inflationary, right? All these things have caused people to have to work so much. So if you get the opportunity to work less, I would definitely take it. Okay, interesting. I would definitely take it. Take the opportunity to work less. So like if you can work less and still make the same amount of money, basically, if that comes up, I would do that, because there might be opportunities for a lot of people where they don't have to work so hard, or they can actually spend less time doing it, because we're coming out of that phase of like constantly having to do this, especially since 2022. It's been a constant trudge and a constant working since that time. So that's going to start to end. So definitely let that end. And yeah. So again, I already talked on the spiritual side. I think a lot of people will go towards religion during this time. Things like meditation, prayer, right? A lot of this stuff will become more a part of people's routines, and a lot of vigorous religious debate. I see that probably all throughout Twitter throughout this time. Twitter will probably be super cringe throughout this time still. Yeah, economic concerns, gas prices will probably shift during this time, right? So there's a lot of economic stuff with Neptune there. So it has to do with the price of gas. So the price of gas will probably go down pretty soon. So when you have all these things occurring at once, it just shifts things. Things change throughout this time. Conversations become different. And that's what we're going into. So also people, you have to think, what happens if there's economic recovery? It means like you can choose to buy healthier food, right? These things come up. So it's the same thing. If you have an opportunity to buy organic or to buy a healthier food choice, then buy that healthier food choice. Take it. That South Node in Virgo will reward you. You'll be more rewarded for that. Just like if you have an opportunity to work less, then take it. You know, if you become less overworked, if you eat a higher quality diet, these things are the things that we should be focusing on societally during South Node in Virgo. And I will say it again, if you have an ED, you got to get rid of it. I think it's a huge opportunity to get rid of it during this time. But yeah, I would say that's really my thoughts on this transit. I do think there will be something with Ozempic for sure. I do wonder what it will be, though. I wonder. That makes me a little nervous. I also see a fat lash occurring during this time. I've talked about that a lot. With Jupiter in Cancer later in the year, I think there will be a resurgence of fat acceptance, and lots of fights over this topic still, definitely. But be forewarned. Be forewarned. If you are still fat when Jupiter is in Leo, I think that is going to be a very, very anti-fat time, which that will occur in 2026. So do not take the bait. Do not take the bait. It isn't real. It will not go well for you. Do not gain as much weight as possible and all this stuff. A lot of people will do that, but it will come back to bite you in the ass the next year. So I would still stay on track, definitely. If your whole concern is a societal trend, fat acceptance may have a fat lash, but it's not going to last. It will die by 2026. So you have to keep that in mind, because that will be a very fat phobic time, basically. That's one of my predictions for next year. It's super fat phobic. Because with that Leo Jupiter, it will bring a lot of vanity. I think it would be better to be fit, honestly, Lisa. I think it will bring a huge rise in vanity, because we're going to have Saturn in Aries and Jupiter in Leo, which those are two very vain signs, and they're going to trine each other. So it's super vanity during that time. And I think that will be a totally different conversation. But definitely no green cut creases at work during 2026. That would be my advice. We're also going to have the South Node shifting towards, I think, Leo during that time. So the vanity aspect will be a huge conversation during that time. Probably a lot of toxic vanity during that time. Yeah, just don't take the bait of 2025 weight regain trend. Don't take the bait of it. I would not be surprised if for some reason we could not use Ozempic anymore, or the conversation around it shifted and then people use it as a huge excuse to gain a bunch of weight. So don't do that, because it will probably bite you in the ass. Yeah, basically, yes, Lisa. That's a good strategy. But fat lash will probably come back. Like I said, it will probably resurge. And if you are talking against fat acceptance, you're probably going to get canceled during Jupiter in Cancer at least once. So I do expect a reputation era for me during that year. At some point, it will come. And I'm telling you now, it will happen. If I get canceled, I will do the whole thing. I will do the whole reputation thing. I'm having a lot of 10th house stuff in 2026. So if they want to bring it, I will bring it, because I will literally probably be in a reputation era, because my reputation will be a huge part of next year. So I'm ready for it. And I also have the Mars. Mars is going to go into my 10th this year. So I might get a taste of it. I don't know. My reputation has been so good lately. I'm so surprised. Yes, Lisa, please do. Please do the voiceover. Reputation. And then I could have a bunch of clips of people talking shit about me if I'm relevant at that time, which I think I probably will be if I continue, because I'll probably have lost a lot more. But yes, I'm going to do the whole thing. Snake emojis, all of it. We're going to do it. So if they want the pageantry of it, I can bring it, period. I can be hella fucking dramatic. I can totally do it, and I will. And I will totally unleash, especially with Jupiter going into my sign. You got me fucked up. Good luck. Good luck, babe. I will be using that shit so hardcore. That Saturn and Aries be so empowering. By the way, it's a really good time to start fighting again at that time. So I'm going to love Saturn and Aries. I like Aries energy because I like to argue. And you're really rewarded for fighting when there's Aries around. So I enjoy it. I've hated all this Libra shit throughout the past year and a half. It has killed me. It has been horrible because you have to not fight. And so it's been like, I've really had to work hard on myself during this time. But especially next year, you don't even know. They do not even know what they will be unleashing if they come after me. Just know there will be a reaction, and it will be pretty swift. And I will just go for it. I will have a total reputation era. I am not scared. We can make we can go the whole year. We'll do it. We'll do reputation the whole fucking 2026. We will do the damn thing. I will probably be in hella good shape at that point if I can continue. And I am not going to be humble about it because, again, Saturn and Aries, it really rewards being braggadocious. Saturn and Pisces, it doesn't. So you can't really do it now. But it's going to go into Aries for a minute this spring. So it's going to be good for all the braggadocious people and that kind of big reputation energy. This year isn't really like that, though. You still have to be kind of humble and just do the process, But yeah, I have a feeling I'll at least probably have another albatross moment this spring. I might be a little crazy because Mars is still going to be in Leo. And it's going to be crazy a little bit. I'm a little nervous about our trip, Lisa, because I don't know what I'm going to act like on that trip. So you just said, Lisa's a good sport. She's like, it'll make the trip interesting. I'm like, it will, because Mars is literally going to be like hitting my sun again right around that time. So hopefully I'm like happy, but I might be like really mad. So it just depends. It just depends. What happens? Okay, Saturn is my chart ruler. People can F with my, but that bad karma will surely hit them hard at some point. Fair enough. But yeah, if Saturn is your chart ruler, when it goes into Aries, definitely don't be afraid to brag. Don't be afraid to show off. Don't be afraid to do those things, which hopefully you have worked hard on something to brag about during Pluto and Jupiter. Sorry. Oh my gosh, all my planets are getting mixed up. During Saturn and Pisces, because that's really what this time was. It's like preparing. It was a really good time to lose weight, by the way. So I've been doing the right things in Saturn and Pisces. I've been losing weight. But that's a really good time to lose weight when it's in Pisces. It's really good to be done losing the weight when it's in Aries. Aries is like, I'm in shape now, bitches. You know, that's like the vibe. So it's like, fuck all of you. I'm in shape now. Fuck off. That's very Saturn and Aries. And there's a lot less limits. So I think people will be really inappropriate during Saturn and Aries. People will be very like, oh, thank you so much, Mons. People will be really problematic, so to speak. Saturn is weak in Aries. So there's less limits. And I do think that there will be a booming economy. I think it's a sign of a booming economy because there's less limits, but that can be overwhelming for people, and people can slip into addiction really easily or slip back into it really easily. So it's not all roses, right? Just astrology is always neutral. So you have to look at it objectively. But anyways, the last time we had Saturn in Aries was the late 90s, which the economy was booming. So I think, yeah, just think of that time. It's like, oh yeah, like 97, you know, 97, 98, 99, like around that time. So just saying. We'll have Eric. We can talk shit about you behind your back. Oh my God. Yes, Mons. So I do think the economy will be doing very well, especially next year. This year is very volatile. So it's very up and down. Certain industries doing well, certain industries doing badly. So you have to be kind of edgy still. This year is a very luminal year. It's very in between. So yeah, I'll have to talk more about 2026 later. But I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good year. But it's a climb. You know, think Miley Cyrus, right? Think the climb. It's a climb. So we're starting from a low point and we go up over a long period of time. So just think of it that way. So really this next 10 months, it's a climb. And then we'll kind of be able to rest a little bit more from October and the holidays and stuff. So I guess I'm ready to start. That was a really long rant about astrology, about astrology. But I'm going to be getting rid of some clothes. So I think the biggest thing, I have to get rid of my 3X. So 3X is now on the chopping block because I'm poofed out. I'm super swollen. I don't know why, but I had potatoes in my like stew yesterday, and for some reason when I eat potatoes in the winter, it's like I just blow up like a balloon. So I'm very bloaty, but I'm still a 2X at least. So even at my most bloaty, it's 2. So it's over, which means we're getting rid of the 3X. Everything 3X is going. So because we are not fat activists, we don't go back up way beyond certain sizes. I did this before where I got rid of all my 5X, remember? So this shirt bot, I don't know if bot is still here, but this shirt is going. This is a 3. It's over, bot. It's done. I have new pajamas now. It's done. We're getting rid of it. I do like to donate to the thrift store that I go to. So I like to try to give back in that way. The purple striped shirt is gone. That's been gone. That was a huge freaking shirt. That was huge. These pants, pajama pants, 3X, they are huge. Going. It's a wrap. This is going to donate to. I don't really see pajamas that often at the thrift store, at least the one that I go to. So I don't really know what to think about that. Gosh, I have a lot of 3X. Ugh. I get anxiety. I'm not a hoarder, but I still have that slight ED trigger of the clothes, of getting rid of clothes. It freaks me out a little bit, but I have to do it because, oh, this is a 2. This is a huge 2. I'm still going to get rid of it. But these are going. These were kind of like my spring pajamas. They're a wrap. But my legs are not as big as my belly. Ooh. These ones also huge. Huge. This is a 3X. It's going. We're done. Last winter, I literally could not even wear. I couldn't even wear these last winter. I think this one too, I couldn't. This one I know I couldn't wear. And I'm literally having to get rid of it now. Isn't that crazy? It's in a year's time, babes. In a year's time. 3X is out. So these ones are going. These ones are really big. But I appreciate it when there's like, I do think there should be fat clothes at the store. Oh my God, is this the one you're talking about, Bot? This one should go. Oh my God. This is a blue shirt, but this one is so big. I have to let go of it. Gosh. Ugh. My heart is breaking. But I already kept my other one from my anti-hero video that I did. This one. This is so big. Look at how big this is. I mean, this is crazy. There's no reason to keep this. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Like, no, this is insane. So this one's going to have to go. We're going to have to let that go. Oh, my heart just broke. A little bit heartbreaking. I'm not going to get rid of like that much of the shorts and stuff just because I'm not sure right now, but probably in the spring I will. And I'm actually probably, when I visit Eric, I'm probably going to get some of his clothes because he's getting rid of them. And you got to do everything you can when you're losing weight because it's kind of a lot. I'm going to keep my albatross shirt because I think I might use it. And albatross, it's kind of oversized anyways. So I'm going to keep that for now. We're going to keep Britishy Georgie. I'm not getting rid of this yet. I don't want to part. Not at least until Brat Era is done. But I'm definitely going to have to get a new one of this color. I love this color. And I'm going to have to get a new one. But we're keeping Britishy Georgie for now. Britishy Georgie can still work. I can still wear a 3X like coat, even though I'm sure it would upset Samira a lot because Samira hates oversized. And it is definitely oversized at this point. Oh, I also have to show you guys, I got a couple of thrifted things. They don't quite fit yet. So hopefully by March. This one, it's so crazy how thrift stuff, because it's from different years, the sizes are all so different. But this is just like a sweater. And it's technically a 2X. It's a little short for me though. So I don't know. We're going to have to figure it out. But this one, I'm going to hopefully be able to wear this like when I go to LA in March. So it's just a basic sweater. It was really cheap. So I got it. And then I also got this one too. This is a 1X and it's a Hogwarts one because I have to be Britishy. So I got a Hogwarts shirt. This one is 1X. So I don't think I can wear this yet, but I try to like keep things coming, but I really love the color. This is one of my best colors. So I was like, I'm going to get it, period. And it was really cheap as well. So I have some 1X stuff. I should be good. I'm still going to keep the 2X stuff. Let me see. Let me see. I probably will have to get new dress pants. Some of my jeans, I really should try on my jeans, but I'm not going to do all that right now. But, okay. I swear this is a shirt that Eric just left or something when he visited a while back. And I'm just going to use it later. That might be it, honestly. I thought I was going to do this huge thing But I think that might be it for now because, oh, these should go too. These are probably way too big. These are technically 2X pants, but they're really big. So I'm going to get rid of these too. So I think I'm just going to probably do that for now because I don't think it's going to be that drastic just for the winter. And then I'm going to have to see what I do later. Oh my God, I got these weird lesbian biker pants. I'm still too fat for them though. But these are so lesbian. So I'm definitely going to wear these probably. I hope I can wear. I would love to wear this to the concert if you're still here, Lisa, because they're really dykish. And I'm feeling it. They're biker pants. It's so weird. And they're green and everything. I want to wear them so bad. Ooh, they're kind of stained. I'm going to have to try to do something about that. But anyways, I think I've washed them, but I'm going to have to do more work on that. But these are they're kind of damaged too, but I liked them because they're kind of like, okay, Lisa. They're kind of like, they're really, really tight, but hopefully I'll be able to wear them in April. I think I will. I'm manifesting. I'll be able to wear these. But like I said, I like to keep things to move forward in. And then also, so I told you I'm going to do a resurgence of my bra era. And I don't know. I haven't watched Spring Breakers, but supposedly there's like a pink, like ski mask moment. So I originally, I don't know if I should say this. I don't know if I should say this. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to say it, but let's just say there's some lore behind this hat, but I'm going to destroy it. Because I'm going to make it into a ski mask and I'm going to use it for a Spring Breakers photo because I'm going to have a February 10th moment on my channel. So I'll just put it to you this way. I made this for someone longer in my life. I'll put it to you that way. We're going to destroy it. So Jupiter's still very much in the 8th for me. Okay. And I need to wear my Slytherin one. So I don't think it'll even be cold by April, Lisa, by the time we go to the concert. It's not going to be cold, I don't think. But if it was cold, I'd be taking this. But it isn't going to be. But I do need to wear this now. I've had this scarf forever. My grandma was trying to gaslight me. She's like, you didn't really have that for a while. Or like, you said that you weren't a Slytherin earlier. I was like, no, I didn't, Grandma. I was like, I have always been a Slytherin. She literally, no. Don't even come at me with that. I think she was trying to say I said I was a Hufflepuff or something. And I'm like, no. That's cute. But no. How about a hell no? Okay. So I think that's pretty much it. Probably for what I'm going to get rid of now. Because I keep these shorts for when I get a haircut. And then honestly, I probably will have to get rid of a lot of the summer shorts. But I'm going to keep them because I might be okay still in the spring. But probably in spring, I'm going to have to do like a huge purge again. Because I really think a lot of those pants and shorts and stuff, they're just not going to be viable. Because by this past summer, they were not as viable. They were getting too big. But I think I can still wear some of my high school stuff. But some of it is so out of date now. Like, oh my God, my shorts are so dated now because they're so old. They look so bad. I had like this one pair of jean shorts that was literally, it's like so 2006. It's horrifying. I think it's these ones. This is so old. Totally not in style at all, but I'm not really in like, style in Alabama, so it doesn't really matter here. But hun, I would never buy these now. I'll put it to you that way. They are really, really, really dated. Like, you want to talk dated? But I defied all of the fat activists and I kept them because I knew one day I'd fit in them again. And I did. So fuck all you. Fuck all the fat activists. I was right. And I wore them a lot last summer. I don't know. These look really big. I'm going to have to try stuff on though. And I'm not going to do all that right now. So maybe I'll do that after the stream. I'll try them on. Because if they're big on me now, they're going to be huge on me by the spring. Like by May, they'll be huge. So I might have to get rid of them then, you know. But yeah, that's definitely my advice when it comes to clothes and stuff is like, definitely you reach a certain point where you trim the fat. So it's like a lot of us, we have weight fluctuation or we have fluid fluctuations and things like that. So wait till like now when you're most bloaty and then try your stuff on then. And if like like for me, a 3X is totally out of reach now. Like I can really only use a 3X in a sweater or a jacket or something. So I'm going to keep my So High School sweater, which it's actually in the bathroom because I wore it to the gym. But I still keep the 3X like over clothes because that's fine. But like the pajamas and stuff, they're just really big. You know, it's like you don't have to keep that. So I don't know if this shirt is a 3X, but it doesn't seem big. Like it's fine for now. I'll probably keep it just for the winter. And same with these pants. I have a 2X pant that I'm wearing just when I'm bloaty. But it's like my fat pants. But yeah, like as you lose weight, the fat clothes, they get to be a lower size. So I would definitely like, once you reach that certain size, just get rid of them. Because like, if you're never, like I'm never hitting a 3X now, ever. So I'm going to just cut the fat. I'm getting rid of all the 3X. Like last year, I was never hitting a 4X. It's like, I have to get rid of the 4X. So you kind of do that and eventually it'll be 2X. Like I won't be fitting in any 2, you know, but I'm kind of like hovering around a 1 right now. So I'm going to keep the 2X stuff for when I'm bloaty. Yeah, I mean, because remember, it's not mystical. Weight loss is not mystical. Weight loss is not like, oh gosh, I don't know. It's not. It's very predictable. So just, I would do it that way because you don't want to, it's kind of a mental thing too, where it's like you don't want to give yourself a path for that to gain back, basically. It's kind of a little bit love and lighty, but if you get rid of those big clothes, especially that you never ever wear or they're just way too big, then it does kind of seal it off in your mind in a way. And you're just like, I'm not going back. So that's why I do get a little bit triggered sometimes when I get rid of them because it's like, you know, but I've never gotten rid of clothes really and then needed them again. That hasn't happened because of the way that I do it. So yeah, I think with that, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. But thank you guys so much. And I think I'll do the rest of my stuff on my own because I need to try on these jeans and stuff. And I just don't want to do that. I'm not on that level, or I'm going to be taking off my pants online. Like, I'm just not there. But I will talk to you guys later. So I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. And yeah, have fun, you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.